All right, greetings. Welcome back to Black Bear News. We got some bear energy for you. I got my Papa Bear shirt on. What's up? All right, people rolling in, and we're live on Rumble, Rockfin, and on the YouTubes. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Let's play a game. No, let's play The game is called How Much Can We Talk About, or How Much Can We Cover in Less Than an Hour? Let's start with this little clip from George Carlin. Hello, hello. It's really not that hot in here, but my computer is acting like it's hot. I don't know. Come on, Papa G. Papa G. Let's see. Here we go.
From an Orthodox standpoint, I just don't think it's what I need to be whole.
Hold on. Let's see if we can get it from the beginning. From the beginning. Come on.
Of the left any more than I like orthodoxy of the right. The right-wing Christians are trying to control your behavior. They're trying to control the behavior of other people. The left-wing academics are trying to control the language and behavior of people. I don't like anyone trying to control and dictate to me from an orthodox standpoint. I just don't think it's what I need to be whole. I really think this species is a foolish, failed species that has organized itself poorly. And I think this culture in particular leads the way. I think we have put property ahead of people. We have put competition ahead of cooperation. And I don't think the balance can ever be brought back into line.
Really?
Never. So my attitude is one of, I look at this species with pity and wonder, a combination of wonder and pity. Can't believe that they do these things. And I really feel sorry for them, but I don't identify with them. Abraham Maslow that the really successfully self-actualized person does not identify with the local group. I don't identify with this country, with these religions, with this species. I really feel like one of the carbon atoms, and just watching the whole thing
really?
From out at we know what the Oort cloud is. The Oort cloud is where the comets gather outside the orbit of Pluto. And that's a safe vantage point. And I think artistically, it's the safest place because I've divorced myself from it. So I'm much freer in my comedy, I think, to say the things I need to say because I don't.
There you go. We are poorly organized species. There you go. Let's we'll stay on Instagram for a second. We'll keep it right here. I didn't really watch all of this. But
born in a cold prison. It is your country. Your state. Number 2, you have to pay for the prison stay. They call the prison fee taxes. Number 3, you have no say what will be done with the money. But you have to pay. Number 4, to pay the money, you have to work. The prison encourages you to buy new shiny products, so you feel better about your poor existence. Number 5, you are not allowed to exit the prison and live on your own. They will hunt you and make you pay. Number 6, only a few prisoners have walked far enough to see the prison wall. Number 7, the prison gives you news and entertainment so that you don't discover the prison walls. Number 8, the prison does not allow strong family bonds or strong brotherhood unless you are a part of the group that is running the prison. Number 9, the prison you live in wants you weak, sick and divided, because weak prisoners can't climb the walls.
all right. Yes. He's also describing. That was from Salt Lakers, by the way. Salt Lakers sent me that. He's describing. Well, who was it that said? right behind the curtain is a brick wall, the brick wall of fascism, right? Who said that? I don't remember. Okay, another dam broke in China, this time in the city of Yulin in Shanji. This is pretty. Victory Jin sent me this.
有了，还开了不？
哎呦，又一遍，
又一个，又一个啊！
这个
咱长点过往外头废铁给拉
这
杆。
也是把路倒出来，你看那个，你看那刺手家往下走的，我这有这在一个铁脚脖子，那个那个，你们来这哪？
不，一个车不，
我那个没事，我给有买过去啊，没交线子。
有了，还开了不
You？ain't stopping that one.
哎呦，又一遍，
又一个，又一个啊！
And where's all that water going? Who's downstream of that? Etc. Rock Finners, where you at? Where are the Rock Finners at? I don't know. Slow to come in. Is everybody? Oh, it's Frank Zappa. Thank you, Gene. Yeah, I was thinking of somebody. First, I was thinking of Lenny Bruce. I don't think it was Lenny Bruce. Yeah, I think you're right. Frank Zappa. Yes. Also, in Menorca, Spain, they've been getting slapped around, slapped down, into weather, funky town. Oh, this is crazy. This is a crazy video. This is it's 100 degrees. Judy, where you are? Things seem glitchy, or is it just? Are you talking? This is a wild video. My God, Victory Jen sent me this. This is in Utah. Absolutely. Whoa. Absolutely super panic inducing, right? To see that coming through your window into your house. What do you do? Where do you go? Because all of that is outside too. You know? JT stepping into the Rockfin chats. What's up, JT? Yep, y'all here. Cool. Every time I change the time of the show, it takes people a little while to get into it. I know people really, and myself, I like I like things to be regular, on time, on schedule, and not interrupted or changed up too much, because then I don't know what's what. So I get it. Yeah, and this 11 o'clock time, I said it yesterday, but we'll see if it holds. I'm very grumpy about doing the show at this time right now. Massive flood on the streets due to heavy rain in Taif, Saudi Arabia. This was yesterday. Does this person live in a basement? It kind of looks that way, doesn't it? That looks like a basement hit. Because if that was a first floor situation, right? Then that is a very tall mountain of water, right? They'd probably be underwater already, but yeah, so as What was it? Was that India? Oh, I think that was Saudi Arabia. I think I got the same link twice. Gene says the first part of the Zappa quote is the illusion of freedom will continue as long as it's profitable to continue the illusion. Oh, what does that sound like? Sounds like just right about now too. At the point, excuse me, where the illusion becomes too expensive to maintain. Too expensive to maintain. They will just take down the scenery. They will pull back the curtains. They will move the tables and chairs out of the way, and you will see the brick wall at the back of the theater. Right. But some people already, some people have a hard time seeing this. And, when you try to point it out, people really resist. What are you talking about? And might get mad at you for trying to point that out, right? Because they want to, the illusion is comfortable. The illusion is comfortable. Hey, we're just sitting here having a good time in these chairs and tables and watching a show. And we would really rather that continue than to, don't scare me. I am afraid. Let's watch a little bit of this video from Sabine Hassenpfeffer. That's not her name. I'm just messing around. It's pretty good. I watched this video this morning, and I liked it. And one of the reasons...
Here are, in my opinion, three of the...
I don't want your opinion, sir. But thank you.
Worst ways to invest in 2020.
Okay.
I don't trust science, and I don't trust scientists.
Okay, hold on. Everything is... Where's my...
I've said it. Yes, it's taken me some courage, because after you've watched this video,
I just want you to pause.
some of you call me a science denier.
Just pause.
And
just
maybe you're
pause.
right,
Jesus Christ. Sorry. You guys still have sound? Can you hear me? Sorry, everything glitched out on StreamYard for a second. Sorry about that. Can you hear me? I just want to make sure everybody can hear me. Denver, what's up? Rockfin is in the Rockfin chat. Google's AI search gives sites dire choice. Share data or die. Yeah. Google. Come on. Come on, Google. All right, sound is good. Great. Anyways, what I was saying is that I watched this video and I really liked it. And she basically, because she agrees with me. No, but yes, because she says in this video what I have been saying for a long time, and other people have been, it's not my own, well, I just came upon this in a light bulb kind of moment. I mean, it's just a observation of what's really going on. And the observation is the conspiracy is not that climate change is a hoax. The conspiracy is that it's much worse than they're letting you know. And she basically, kind of spells that out. I don't know. This is a 10-minute video. We'll see how long we can watch of it. But really good points in this.
Trust science, and I don't trust scientists. There, I've said it. Yes, it's taken me some courage, because after you've watched this video, some of you call me a science denier. And maybe you're right, maybe I certainly deny any evidence against the benefits of coffee.
Are you guys saying that she's too low, or is there no volume at all? Oh, hold on one second. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Can you hear me? So I think stream. Oh my God. Let's try again. Can you guys hear her now? Could you just hear that little bit I played? Hold on. Let's see. Can you hear her now? No? You can't hear her? That's so weird. It's very loud here. It's better? Oh, that's so weird. It's really loud. Like I can hear it. I was turning it down because what is this? What the hell? Oh, this is frustrating me now. Super low. Hold on. No, I mean, you can hear me. I think it's a StreamYard thing, guys. The sound should be very. You guys could hear the other clips, like Instagram, that you guys could hear what I was playing before. You guys could hear that. I'm just trying to see what's going on. I know you guys are being funny, but I just I need some. You guys could hear the Instagram thing. Well, let's do this. Give me a second. All right. Now, you can hear me. Can you hear my voice? Can you hear me voice? Out there in the internet. Let me know if you can hear me, and then I'll just try and play this video again. I'll try and reload the video. Perfect sound for me. Okay, let's start with that. Let's move on to this. We'll try not to get bogged down in this. Can you hear the ad? Or can you hear her now? I'll pause it. And could you just hear her then? Oh, you probably can't hear her then. Sorry. Let's see. Also share the tab audio. That's on. Let me know.
There, I've said it. Yes, it's taken me some courage, because after you've watched this video, some of you call me a science denier. And maybe you're right, maybe that's what I've become. I certainly deny any evidence against the benefits of coffee. Yes, make that triple. But seriously, I've good reasons to mistrust science and scientists, and so do you. I mean, look at the stock image of a scientist. Would you trust that guy? I wouldn't. Yes, that means you shouldn't trust me either, and you shouldn't trust climate scientists. No, I don't. And that's what I want to talk about today. Some of you have been following me since approximately the Mesozoic era, and you remember that I've been highly critical of research in the foundations of physics. I've literally written an entire book about it, back then when people still read books in the Mesozoic era. Today we do 10 minutes YouTube videos, so to make a long book short, most of what physicists do in the foundations of physics today is pseudoscience. It's paper production with no scientific merit that teaches us nothing about nature. It's mathematical fiction, multiverses, tales about the origin of the universe and invisible particles that no one ever finds. But that in and of itself is not the problem. Wait, I'm serious, damn it. It happens every once in a while that some research area drifts off into pseudoscience. For example, the early studies on extrasensory perception, ESP for short, that's telepathy, telekinesis and so on, that was once proper science. It was a phenomenon worth investigating. I mean, who hasn't wished they could use one or the other magical force? Of course, scientists were on the case. But as time went on, it became clear that there was nothing to find, and the people who were still working on it were just pretending to do science with sloppy statistics. So pseudoscience pretends to be science, but isn't. This happens because scientists not only make mistakes, they sometimes make new mistakes. And if that happens, the scientific method itself needs to develop to demark the new mistake as pseudoscience. ESP studies, for example, led to the development of better statistical methods, such as double-blind trials. The new mistake in physics was that physicists came to believe that if you can write it in maths and it's falsifiable, then it's scientific. Unfortunately, it's the other way around. If it's scientific, then it's falsifiable. Now, if you make that mistake, then suddenly all kinds of nonsense ideas become scientific. And that, in a nutshell, is what happened in the foundations of physics. But the problem isn't that parts of physics drifted into pseudoscience per se, because this happens every once in a while in the natural evolution of the sciences. The problem is that it hasn't had any consequences. We've recognized the problem with ESP studies, chucked them out of universities and updated statistical methods to prevent that from happening again. But physicists have been inventing unobservable things that no one ever finds for half a century and are still happily doing it, believing it's proper science. And if it can happen in physics, it can happen in other disciplines too. That's why, after I finished writing my book in 2016, I began to worry that climate change was indeed a hoax. I can't blame people for looking at the foundations of physics, concluding that much of it is obviously bullshit, and then saying, well, see, you can't trust scientists, they're just making up climate change, because I'm worried about the exact same thing. I haven't talked about this because I'm afraid that this'll just give some people another justification to question science. But I've come to think that not talking about it just makes it worse. It makes it look like we've got something to hide. If you mistrust scientists, you're not alone. A recent study by members of the Strategic Council of the US American National Academy of Sciences found that about 80% of those polled say scientists are competent and trustworthy, but the remaining 20% doubt scientists' motives. They doubt that scientists will stick with science when it goes against the scientists' self-interest, like access to grants or other financial support. I think they have good reason for this doubt. Indeed, the pursuit of self-interest physics, mostly financial stability, is what's driving the problem in physics. It's baked into the current organization of the research system. The vast majority of scientists I know are not doing research to get rich. If you're interested in money, you do something else, like getting born rich. But still, they need some income to pay rent and feed the kids, right? And this is why they have a strong incentive to inflate the relevance of their research. To most of them, this comes naturally because they're excited about what they're doing. But the scientific community still has no requirements whatsoever that scientists address their own biases. There's no education, no training, no guidelines, nothing. That you expect scientists to generally exaggerate the relevance of their research isn't just a problem for the public perception. It feeds back into the community. You now have all these people telling each other constantly that what they do is super important, and they come to believe it. It's a classic example of what's called social reinforcement. Yeah, same spirit that keeps flat earthers going. And is the same thing going on in climate science? Of course. Does that mean that climate change is a hoax? No, it's worse than that. I'm not a climate scientist, and I swear I have no aspirations to become one, but I've spent a lot of time trying to understand the basics, read a lot of papers and textbooks, and attended seminars and talked to climate scientists, etc. I'm not asking you to trust me or anyone really, but I found no major reason for concern about climate science. Is the climate changing? Yes. Are we causing it? Yes. Every other option for what could be causing climate change, or the denier arguments that you've heard, have long been ruled out. It's the sun, we're coming out of the little ice age, cosmic rays, and so on. It's not like climate scientists ignored these possibilities. The deniers are just repeating stuff that was laid to rest decades ago. Yes, climate models have some problems, which I've talked about a few times before, but their biggest problem seems to be that they underestimate the pace of warming and the uncertainty. And this returns me to the social problem. I found that climate scientists clearly do have social problems in their community, but these problems present themselves totally differently than in the foundations of physics. In the foundations of physics, scientists basically seem to have concluded that they don't need to care about what the public thinks. They get paid anyway, so now they just ignore all criticism. Climate scientists, in contrast, are afraid of the public. They're afraid of being hunted by activists on the left or the right. They're afraid of having their privacy being violated and of being quoted out of context. They're afraid of being called alarmist. They're afraid of being harassed by climate deniers. They're afraid of being dragged into decades-long lawsuits because these things have happened and continue to happen. And honestly, I think that they're afraid isn't entirely a bad thing, because it makes their arguments much more careful and watertight. But it does create a problem. It introduces a bias in their arguments. They're afraid of being called alarmist, and they're afraid of giving anyone reason to dismiss their conclusion, and that creates incentives to make the situation look less scary and to underestimate uncertainties. Basically, it's right that you shouldn't trust climate scientists, but the conclusion from that isn't what climate change deniers want it to be. It's not that climate change is a hoax, it's that it's almost certainly worse than the impression they raise. So whom can you trust?
She is correct. I'm going to stop her right there because I want to talk about other things, but she's absolutely correct. And this is, again, something that a lot of people are missing to the detriment of their own well-being and, the well-being of their family or their, future you can't, you can't make correct decisions about how you're gonna face the future if you don't have correct information. And this is something that I've said a lot about, I won't go on too much longer about this, but what I've said in the past, and my my frustration with the climate change is a hoax people, or the just the blanket, like, knee jerk, like, oh, it's all stupid and it's all, don't trust scientists, they're all lying to you. Yeah, they're all lying to you. They're not telling you how bad it is. It's not, it's the correct understanding of the situation, but it's not the correct understanding of the outcome, because you don't have, not that people don't have, deniers don't have the capability of understanding physics or data or evidence. It's because their knee-jerk reaction inhibits them from actually understanding it on kind of a basic, common sense kind of physics level. So, oh, you just noticed my shirt? Yes, it's like my favorite shirt right now. Yeah. So I understand. I totally get it. And obviously Sabine gets it too. I totally get it. I totally get why you think that scientists are up to, or in cahoots to just make money on studies. And that's, what time is my show now? Shawnee, it's 11 a.m. right now. I'm sorry to keep changing things up on you guys, but don't get too comfortable, because I might change it again. I'm sorry, but right now it's 11 a.m. We're going to stay right here at 11 a.m. for as long as we can. But like I said earlier, I'm very uncomfortable doing it at this time right now. I just don't know. I'm trying to switch my schedule around so that I'm not like completely and utterly exhausted at every moment of the day, which is no way to live life. All right. So there you go. I am on the side of people who have questions about the scientific community. Absolutely. For obvious reasons, right? Monsanto poisoning people, and big pharma poisoning people and hurting people, and sometimes sending them to their, mortal coil, their mortal end. Those are the reasons to be really, to be disdainful, distrustful, and disgusted with all of these industries, right? And academia is no different. Scientists no different. They're doing, a lot. I'm not saying all of them, but I'm saying, a lot of them live very comfortable lives, very sheltered lives, very, blindered lives, very, myopic lives, and they're just insular. They just care about, it's just they live in a little small scientific bubble, and they're not really connecting what they're doing to the bigger picture. And that's also another obstacle in understanding what's going on with climate change, because a lot of scientists just have Going South says the EU climate narrative is a total hoax. Yeah, I'm sure. And so is their health narrative, right? So is the UN. That's not the EU, but the whole their narrative around what is good for people and not good. I actually yeah, so they're not connected. The scientists are not connected to the bigger picture, and they're comfortable, so why should they care? But you should know if you are concerned, right? Because lots of people are concerned about what's happening, right now, and what is the near future going to look like the next 5 or 10 years? Like, where are we going? Is there going to be total economic collapse, or is there going to be, is there going to be civil war? Is there going, all these questions, right? Where are we going? Is there going to be a digital panopticon? Is there going to be, right? Are people going to be enslaved? All this stuff, right? People have questions about, like, or is everything going to be great and fine, and we're all going to, skip into a rainbow, right? Not a lot of people have faith in that particular scenario, but right? There's a lot of things that are happening that people are trying to wrap their minds around. But if you just dismiss climate change out of hand, oh, that's just some bullshit, you are setting yourself up for some pain. And I'm, not trying to, the purpose of my show is to educate or enlighten people as to, that particular the mode of disruption that people might be facing in the near future. And so, rejecting or accepting anything just out of hand, I can tell you, is an unhealthy way to go about life, right? So it happens on all sides. It happens in, people that believe the mainstream narrative and people that believe the, alternative media narrative that, everything, they just repeat whatever they hear on podcasts. Like, that is dangerous. Don't ever do that. Don't ever do that. What you want to do is just keep your possibilities open. Keep your mind open. Keep your possibilities, all the possibilities open. Be open to new information. Be open to changing your mind. Be open to, not agreeing with everything you hear. Be open to not agreeing with everything in a particular political or philosophical silo, right? You can accept some things and reject others. It's okay. That's actually thinking. That's actually intelligence. Okay. I am live edutainment. Thank you. Thanks, Malcolm. Well, heck yeah. Anyways, that was good stuff from Sabine. I quite appreciated it. What is this? Denver's dropped me some couple of links. It's already getting late. Google's AI search gives sites dire choice. This whole AI thing, man, has gotten me very nervous. I don't like it. Someone must move that deck chair to the right, says Rich Diana. Yeah. I can't read this because it's Bloomberg. Google now displays convenient artificial intelligence-based answers at the top of its search engines. Well, yeah, so does Brave, so does other browsers. Meaning users may never click through the websites whose data is being used to power those results, but many site owners say they can't afford to block Google's AI from summarizing their content. Oh, interesting. Interesting. I kind of want to read the rest of that. Malcolm Young says, be open to agreeing with the enemy when the enemy is actually right. Well, sure. I mean, it's useful. That's what is the basis for espionage is, right? Like, you want to have correct information and data, right? And if you reject data and information based on an emotional or doesn't fit your philosophical jigsaw puzzle in your head, well, then you're gonna hurt yourself, right? You're gonna reject this potential knowledge that could be helpful to you. And this is why blocking social media posts or videos or right under the basis that they're unsafe or filled with hate, they're hate filled or blah blah blah. Like, maybe you don't agree with the person or the information, but isn't it good to have the information? Isn't it good to know what people are thinking? Isn't it good to know, like, what's the... I just saw, somebody doing one of those man on the street videos. They went into a supermarket and they asked people, they were like, Trump or Kamala? And I, immediately my first thought was like, why is it Trump or Kamala? Like, why is this the question? And only one person was like, no answer. Only one person said no answer. I was like, I thought there would be a lot more people going like, no, right? So anyways, they went in the store, they said Trump or Kamala, and it was like 10 Trumps to 3 Kamalas. And I was like, well, okay, that's, it's good. That's a good kind of gauge of like where people's minds are at. And maybe they edited it. Maybe it's not, there are all the questions, right? But what if sites blocked stuff like that? you know, based on, and then it's not they've already done it. You know, we don't like this person is bad. We're not platforming, you know, Hitler. We're not platforming any, you know, anything we don't like to hear or we don't want people to see. You're inciting blah blah blah, right? You know, all that. But wouldn't you just like to know, you know, a gauge on like, how are people feeling? What do they think? How is it going? You know, that's called information. Anyways. Hey, all right, dang it. Speaking of weird stuff. Oh, I was going to talk about it's interesting though. I do find it interesting actually, Denver, on those AI answers. Which is kind of lazy on my part. I don't have to click on the sites or the links. I just take the AI answer as I'm like, oh, well, that was handy. But, you know, maybe the AI answer is not much better than a Wikipedia result, right? Which Wikipedia can be helpful, but we also know that Wikipedia can be biased, can be edited by people that don't want you to have certain information. So there could be holes or gaps in the understanding of the information if you go to Wikipedia. I'm sure that's true of AI. But I find myself just going like, reading the AI like, here's what I found. Going, awesome. I didn't have to like go click on some website or click through 4 websites and go, here we go. You know, it is convenient, and that convenience is a trap. Sometimes, many times, the convenience is a trap. Yeah, Denver. Yeah, Google has been banning legit sites for years. I know because I work and consult for a company that builds websites. Yeah, and I've heard that the whole SEO game is like really screwed up. Right, back in the day, like I know several people that used to kind of, right, work with SEO, which is what I'm sure you know a lot about. But there were kind of like, there were basic rules to it, right? And I know that they algorithmically like just flip the rules whenever they feel like it. And that has become much harder to do or know what to do with SEO. How to Get Ahead in Advertising. Has anybody seen that movie? That's a great frickin' movie. What is this? Homeland. Oh, yeah. So that's another thing. This is actually a big. Oh, this might go into what I'm going to play next. So hold on one second. I do want to. It's getting late in the day. If you like this content, if you like this show, if you like what you see here, if you enjoy the show coming to you for free 99 Monday through Friday, sometimes once in a while on the weekends. If you like the show and would like to support the show needs all the support it can get. And it just really helps to keep the show going because I do spend a lot of time getting the show together and doing the show and all that kind of stuff. And I enjoy doing the show, certainly. So I don't want to stop doing it. But if you want to support the show, then there are lots of ways in the description box, the usuals, the Venmos, the Cash Apps, the Zelles, the coffees. There's super rays and super chats and Patreon and all kinds of stuff. all kinds of ways. And to those that support me already or have been supporting me, I appreciate you. You know that I do. Denver says SEO was central to gaming and destroying the search engine, turned it into a hide engine, and it was financed by advertisers funding what they thought was their own marketing budget. Monopoly. Yeah, okay. I get that. I see that. Well, and that's what they've been accused of doing is, violating, monopolizing the search market. And pushing out contenders. All right, so let's look at some dumb things Trump is saying, or not just dumb, concerning, I think. I mean, I'm trying to point out how, both sides are not, either the red or the blue is not really going to be helpful to anyone, but they seem to have all the eyeballs. So, and they certainly have people believing like, well, you gotta make a choice. It's a two-party system. This is just how it is. We gotta do it like this. That's just the whole thing. Anyways, here's Trump saying this is actually kind of hilarious because he says you're all going to be thrown into a communist system. This is kind of like just the knuckle dragonist, dumbest shit I've heard over the last couple of election cycles. This whole thing from the right about, the left being like super communist. They're not communist. They're not even socialist. They're capitalist. They're fascist in the blue jumpsuit, as opposed to the fascists in the red jumpsuit. They're doing the same thing. They try to get voters appealed to the left with like, hey, we're going to give you stuff. And then when they, and then they give you very little, or they don't give you what they said they were going to, they do the thing. They chain yank. Obama, like really chain yanked. Right. Biden super chain yanked. They chain yank. They just, all the squad, famous chain yankers. But they're a right-wing party, the Democrats. And so it's just hilarious. And they're not going to give you health care. Like, they'll never give you health care. The left is never going to give you health care. But the funniest thing about this is, like, if they actually did that, people would vote for them and I would be happy, right? Like, if I actually thought that the Democrats might give me free health care, I'd be all up in a voting booth. I'd be all up in that. But, like, I think by now, most obviously independents, but a pretty big portion of Democrats don't believe they're going to ever get Medicare for all. They're just voting, they vote blue because, orange man bad or whatever, well, if you got to save democracy, or we might get actual fascism, whatever the line is. But I don't think I don't think any Democrats actually believe they're going to get health care. But I'm telling you right now, if I actually thought somebody would promise me health care and actually follow through on it, like seriously free health care, free national health care, I'd be way up in that booth. I'd be all up in that booth, like in a hot second. I'd be like, tell me where can I punch the hole for Democrats? I'd be right up on it, but they're not gonna give it to you. Thanks. I appreciate you. Gave me a 333 on a super chat. I appreciate you. I think I got a Rockfin tip from Rich Diana. Thanks, man. Thank you, guys. I don't know if I got something else. Anyways, we'll listen to this. I don't know if we need to, but whatever. He's going to tell you like, oh, they're going to give you health care. Watch out. Hilarious. Can we hear it?
And you're not going to be allowed. You're all going to be thrown into a communist system. It's a communist system. You're going to be thrown into a system where everybody gets health care. And you're not going to be allowed. You're all going to be thrown into a communist
just
system.
Funny. Just funny. Yeah, I have found this like the kind of the one of the dumbest talking points. Oh, hey, got a really very, very nice and generous PayPal donation from Andrew Lubbers. Thanks, man. Andrew Lubbers says, best bear ever. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you. That really does help. Don't know if I got any more people to thank. I mean, it's just, you know, this whole like the Democrats are like they're super communist is just one of the. But I mean, if you're gonna confuse people and give, you know, people just like a whole slew of misinformation and really just dumb people down to where they don't understand anything and don't know what's going on, and give them plenty of historical amnesia, right? I mean, this is how to do it. Is they're communists. They, you know, nobody understands what even socialism means. I have a new piece I'm working on called MAGA Communism, which I'm gonna break out. I just have the title, but I know what it's about. But I'm gonna write it maybe this weekend. Here's another one. I feel like this is not a campaign hill you want to die on. And in fact, the other day there was a video floating around with Trump saying like, you know, we gave everybody vaccines and we gave everybody masks and ventilators and we did all we could to fight the COVID and all that. And like his whole base is like, what? What? Like we didn't, you know, especially his base, but and again, plenty of independents, probably all of them, and probably a good number of Democrats understand like, all right, well, that, you know, not everything that we were told was actually true and correct. And actually, you know, we have a lot of questions about what happened during the whole COVID thing. And Trump is like, well, we did everything, all the things, you know, he's like promoting all this, you know, like COVID, I don't know what you want to call them, COVID protocols or COVID things that, you know, he was promoting what they did for COVID, you know, and like it's kind of bonkers. It's not really it seems a little out of touch because I think that's not something you really want to, you know, say that you don't want to stand behind that. Anyways, you're right. Creative experiments, boom. And he also gave people, you know, one good thing I could say about Trump, and I've seen people say like Trump didn't give you nothing during COVID. It was the Congress and everybody helped along. But actually, Trump was a big proponent of giving people money and, you know, of helping people out. And I have to say, thanks, you know, because I got some unemployment and it was really, really helpful. Really helpful. That really helped a lot of people. And, you know, remember the whole speech, Bernie Sanders up there saying like, well, this is ridiculous. We have to give people, you know, he was arguing for people to get the $600 or the, you know, some money, some pandemic relief, $600 a month or whatever it was, or a week. I think it was $600 a week. But he didn't have anything to do with that getting passed. It was actually already done, a done deal between Trump and somebody else. That was the real news about that. And a lot of people picked that apart. They were like, Bernie got up there and made this great speech, and he didn't do jack. It was already a done thing. Somebody else, they already decided on it. And so, hey, you know, on that particular thing, I would say like, thanks, Trump. But like, you know, a lot of the other things he wants to do or stands for or is behind, I'm like, no, hell, fuck, no. No. Anyways, he says, if you hate America, this is a wild video, man. I don't even know, like, if you want to kill your election chances, say stuff like this. Like, if you just want to just sink your battleship, like, just run it into the rocks, say stuff like this. Say stuff like this. Like, if you hate America, if you want to eliminate Israel, then we don't want you in our country. What? This is Stu Peters saying, no, old man, if you support genocide of innocent kids and usury-based financial prison camps for the ethnic Europeans. I mean, I don't care about this part. Ethnic Europeans that founded this country. Okay, who cares about that? That's some dumb shit. And then you can get the F out. But he's literally saying we are going to deport people who are Hamas supporters. What the actual fuck is that shit? Like, this is a campaign killer. I don't see a lot of people supporting this. I don't know who on the right or the left would support anybody who's saying this kind of stuff. So I just don't get it. I don't even get it. Anyways, let's listen.
When I'm president, we will deport the foreign jihad sympathizers, and we will deport them very quickly, and Hamas supporters will be...
There's like 3 people going, hoo-hoo! There's like, it's not a lot of people. You can hear the individual claps of people like, yeah. I think the other people are sitting there going, what the hell? Like, what are you saying? That's insane. That's insane. Like, this is wild. And I guess he's depending on his base just being rabid and wildly ignorant enough to just repeat everything he says. But I don't think that's going to work out for you. I don't think that's going to work out for you. Trump acts like he doesn't want the job again, says Rich Diana. Too lazy, no doubt. Well, I mean, he's just... So in the 2016, in the time that he won the presidency, he was actually saying populist things. He was kind of cribbing from Bernie Sanders a little bit. He actually said stuff like, we're going to give people health care. He actually said that in 2016. He was like, we're going to get out of wars. We're going to give people health care. He was saying things that connected to people, which is why I think he won. We're going to drain the swamp. You know, he had one chance for people to go, all right, yeah, please, the swamp sucks. Bernie Sanders says oligarchy, and Trump was like, we're going to drain the swamp. And people were like, somebody do something, right? But now he is saying things that are completely not popular, not populist, almost repulsive to his base. I don't know. I don't know how this is going to work out. So who knows how this election is going to go, because we have people competing for being like the most repulsive, people competing for being the most repulsive candidate ever, and who's gonna lose the hardest is, I guess, the game. I don't know. This is Kamala, trying to backtrack like this is a couple days ago, but trying to backtrack like real super fast, because she's all, if you want Trump to win, say that, but I'm speaking, this was her line. Well, I'm talking here. So shut up, people that care about Palestinians. She was saying that, right? One day she was saying, shut up, people that care about Palestine. And now the very next day, I think, she said this.
Which includes respecting the voices that I think that we are hearing from, and let me just say this on topic of what I think I'm hearing over there. Let me just speak to that for a moment, and then I'm going to get back to the business at hand. So let me say, I have been clear. Now is the time to get a ceasefire deal and get the hostage deal done. Now is the time. And the president and I are working around the clock every day to get that ceasefire deal done and bring the...
Okay. You want to believe how hard they're working around the clock. Oh, around the clock. I don't know. Last time I checked, I think more people were bombed to smithereens. You know? So, I don't know. I don't know how I clicked. I didn't mean to click that. So, you know, Israel bombed school in Gaza, killing 100 plus Palestinians. The Biden administration just approved $3.5 billion in military funding for Israel. I think they did more. I think they did another 20. This is from, I feel like this is from around the same, the same day. This is from the next day. So they're working around the clock, of course. No. But they are, working around the clock to give Israel more money to bomb more people. So there's that. Again, it's just like they're just competing with each other to see, who can be the most repulsive. I just, I may actually not believe that anybody won on, the day after Tuesday. I'm just going to be like, are you sure? Are you sure about that? I'm not gonna believe it. Last thing, this is from Shama Swant in Seattle. This is a true progressive lefty. Yeah. That's what working hard on a ceasefire looks like. How about some more bombs? Kashama Swant. Who's pretty cool. If you ever heard her talk, interviews with her, I don't hear a lot of people interviewing her. I wish more people would interview Kashama. August 9th, Biden-Harris approves $3.5 billion to Israel. August 13th, Biden-Harris approved $20 billion, the largest weapons package to Israel. This is 3 days after that clip of Kamala saying that we're working around the clock. I mean, come on, man. Any idea Harris will support end to the war is a pipe dream. Trump won't either. He's going to kick people out who are pro-Hamas. He's going to deport people. That is freaking wild, man. We're going to deport you if you're pro-Hamas. Holy shnikes. Anyway, she says this is a long-term project of U.S. imperialism. Workers need a new party. Absolutely. I agree. A new party, another something else. We need something else because this is not working. It's not going to work. It just is not going to work. And I feel like a better clip of the man on the street instead of going into a supermarket and asking people, Trump or Kamala, how about another question? How about both fascist parties or, something new that a new party that actually works for people? How about, stick that mic in people's faces? I wonder what the response to that would be. Anyways, the idea that they're opposed to each other is absolute nonsense, rubbish. All right, guys, thank you for your eyes, your ears, and your conscience. Thanks everybody who contributed to the show. Appreciate you. Oh, Denver. Actually, I was going to say before I go, the U.S. wants to use facial recognition to identify migrant children as they age, and this is actually Trump is a supporter of this, of like having like a smart. He's saying he wants to build an iron dome over the U.S., which is absolutely nuts, and they want to build like a smart wall, right? That border wall. They want the border wall to be like a smart wall and that has biometric scanning and surveillance, right? And this is bad. This is bad stuff, right? Bad news for the people of America, right? Because they're going to use it on you. And, right, so the U.S. wants to use facial recognition on the border wall, right? And Trump is a supporter of this. I'm sure Kamala is as well. You know, it doesn't really matter which party gets in. They're both going to do it or try. And this technology will be eventually turned on you. Well, it's not eventually, it's already happening now, right? So this technology is just going to be, ramped up even more. All right, guys. We'll see you on Monday. If I don't see you before then at 11 a.m. And thank you for your eyes, your ears, and your conscience. And thank you for the conversation. And we'll see you next time. Peace.